I get this question all the time. How is therapy and coaching different? I was a licensed marriage and family therapist for many, many years. I worked with everybody. I worked with death penalty inmates who'd committed multiple murders. I worked with high level CEOs, big trust fund families, and blue collar families, everybody in between. I love therapy. Okay. But when does an athlete go to therapy versus when does an athlete hire a coach? An athlete goes to therapy when he has an injury and it's a diagnosable injury and he needs to be brought back to functioning level. Okay. Bring me back to functioning level from the diagnosis I have. That is what therapy is designed to do. So if you have a full diagnosis, by all means, go to therapy and get that treated. Now, if you want to break a record, break a personal record, overcome a boundary, overcome an obstacle. If you want information from someone who's been there before, someone who is trained to help you achieve that next level, that's when an athlete hires a coach. And that's what coaching is. It's not let's get you back to neutral, and it's not how do you feel today. It is what do you want to achieve? Here are the steps to achieve it. I will walk with you and make it simple for you, but you're going to do the work. Let's get you there and let's help you achieve. That's what coaching is for. I think every man on the planet needs a coach. I don't think every man on the planet needs therapy.
I love that. I love that. So getting into, if we can here, I know this might be challenging, right? Because it's obviously going to be case independent. Yeah, if the guy is resonating with every single bit of this, which there's going to be so many of them that do, they've identified, they probably already knew, right? Even coming to this, I'm the nice guy, right? I'm anxious all the time, or I'm that lone wolf. I'm that, I'm crushing it and all these kind of things. Look at my resume, right? I got the BMW parked out front. I'm living in a high-rise building, could walk into any restaurant and don't even have to look at the menu and be able to buy whatever it is that I want. So he's that more avoidant because when he goes home at night, he's sitting in this beautiful high-rise apartment all by himself, and he has for years. So if they're not anxious or avoidant, but they want to move into the secure, first thing that he should begin to do.
Yep. I'm going to give 2 steps for each one. Okay, 2 key steps for each one. In my video course, the Attachment Bootcamp, it guides people through fixing their anxious attachment style. And here's the 2 opening steps that men need to know. I'm just going to give it to you. Number 1, you need to learn to regulate your own emotions. You cannot do anything better than you're currently doing until you regulate your emotions. This doesn't mean not having feelings, but it means taking all those times that you overthink, all those times that you are paralyzed by fear, all the things that stop you from saying the things you need to say. Okay. It is based on emotional agitation. It's on your right side brain. That diminishes the functioning on your logical left side brain to fuel these emotional spikes. And then it says, how do I maximize pleasure and minimize pain for the next 5 seconds? If you're anxiously attached, that means by getting approval from somebody and getting a little flood of a bonding hormone called oxytocin. When someone approves of you, you feel accepted, you get oxytocin, you wag your tail, you feel a little safer. That's how you're regulating your emotions. You're co-regulating with other people, but they don't know that's what you're doing and you're desperately seeking it. It makes you look weak. You don't like it. They don't like it. It makes you feel disrespectful of them. They feel that they cannot respect you because you're driven by fear. Regulate your own emotions. Number 1 way to do this through physical techniques. That can be lifting. Exercise is huge for this. Somatic body techniques. I teach a variation of the progressive muscle relaxation technique that involves tightening muscles instead of relaxing them. That's been huge for my clients who have panic attacks and things like this. But regulate your own emotions so that you can then, number 2, define and live by your own code of honor, your own code of conduct. You must define 3 core principles that you are never going to violate again, that you probably are currently violating. Mine are honesty, always tell the truth and the fullness of truth. Number 2, integrity, always keep your word no matter what, keep your responsibilities. And number 3, compassion, always do what is truly best for those who are suffering. Those are my 3 principles I must live by. You have to set out reminders every morning that you're going to live by these things. You have to breathe them, think them, sleep them, talk about them, tell them to other people, get updates on them, be held accountable for them. But you must live to your code of conduct instead of deciding what's going to minimize friction and make people around me happy. When you do that, you start crushing the heart and soul of your anxious attachment, and you'll start working towards secure attachment. Now, there's more to it, but those are the opening steps that I lay out for most men for anxious attachment. So nice guys, there's your beginning steps. Take those steps. Let me know if you need more. Avoidantly attached guys, opposite problem. Okay, opposite problem. They don't usually need to regulate their own emotions. They need to believe that there's even another way to live besides the one they're living. So most avoidant men, they go home, all right? They're out all day fighting in the fields. They're covered in bloody armor. They got their bloody spear. They go home. They walk in their front door. They still bloody armor, bloody spear. They kiss their wife or their girlfriend hello. They walk in. They sit on the couch, bloody armor, bloody spear. They kind of watch TV. They get up. They go to the dinner table. They eat, still all covered in blood with their armor on. They go. They make love to their girlfriend or their wife. And then they laid in bed all night long, bloody armor and bloody spear, just eyes peeled back, waiting for the dawn. They can't even sleep. They get up in the morning, they go brush their teeth, eat a bagel, kiss their girlfriend goodbye, go to work. And same thing. They never, ever, ever relax. They never unwind. They never let go because they don't know how. They're always endlessly on that cortisol pathway. They usually only come into me when they either hear that there's a different way to live and they kind of believe it, or they crash somehow and they're just wretchedly unhappy and they need a different way of living. So number one, understand that there's a different way to live for avoidant men. Even just drink this idea in. You don't have to understand. You don't have to believe it yet. Most guys hear me. They circle me for 6 months waiting to see how I'm a charlatan. When they don't figure it out, they come in and talk to me, and then we start working on attachment at that point. But it's 6 months usually of circling to figure out if I'm lying to them. Do some work, do some research, learn about oxytocin in particular. There's a fantastic researcher you should look up, Dr. Sue Carter from the Kinsey Institute. Dr. Sue Carter, phenomenally brilliant woman. She talks about the bonding pathways of oxytocin and vasopressin, especially in the context of fear and love. This is groundbreaking research that every man out there needs to be researching, but especially avoidant men. You will see how your brain chemistry is off. So number one, be aware that there's a different way to live. And number two, learn the 4 levels of trust. The 4 levels of trust indicate who you can trust and who you can't. Most avoidant men simply never trust anybody because they're used to being let down. Everybody else seems arbitrary and like they're not going to work out. So just don't ever trust anybody ever. When you learn the 4 levels of trust, is that person consistent and self-policing with their internal values, their code of conduct? And they tell you what that is. It's level 1. Level 2, are they consistent and self-policing with a long-term goal, right? That's number 2, and a goal that you can respect. That makes them predictable. During times of stress, do they still hold to those? When they fall short, do they self-police back? Are they always on those 2 things so you can predict what they're going to do instead of them backstabbing you, betraying you, wandering off the path, doing something horribly wrong? They're always going to police back to those 2 things so you can at least trust them. Then number 3, do they take ownership of their shortcomings and help you understand what they will be and then help minimize any damage that you're going to take from their shortcomings while also accepting your shortcomings? They don't enable you, but they accept you for who you are and then work with you as you overcome them and hold you accountable to them. Okay. And then number 4, can they build a mutually fulfilling relationship with you where it's truly open, explicit? Here's what I need from you. Here's what you need from me. Let's take care of each other in generosity, but only because we have all those levels of trust. As those avoidant men go through those 4 levels of trust, you actually rank the people in your life. You give them a number. You see who you can go up on and who does not deserve that, who's level 0. Most people are level 0. Everyone is level 0 when they start. You don't give them the benefit of the doubt. Everyone's level 0. They have to work their way up. You only trust or marry a woman, for example, when she's level 4. You only make somebody your business partner when they're at least level 3, hopefully level 4. That's an intimate friendship or an intimate connection. Learn the 4 levels of trust and rank the people in your life. Again, there's more to it than that, learning to open up to them, learning to bond with them, but begin in those 2 places. Those are the 2 steps I'd give to anxious or avoidant men.